like, oh, I can't do this shit no more.
Well, no, like, because the whole thing of the the Santa Clauses,
Clauses.
it's the reason why a whole generation spelt Santa Claus wrong because of the E on the end in terms of clause of contract.
I know I did.
But
yeah.
Hello everyone, welcome to Nerd Bubble Podcast episode.
Back in time, forward in time. This is in between.
No, this is ahead of. We're doing it ahead of time, but we've done everything else. So 30.
Episode 30.
231.
231.
Merry Christmas, the Christmas special, where you guessed it, we're talking about the Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Last year
and the clause it comes with.
Last year we talked about Home Alone.
Yeah, we did Home Alone. And what was the one we did before? What was the first one? Was it Elf? Did we do Elf the first time?
We haven't done Elf. I think what
No?
we did is we talked about our favourite Christmas films. That was 2018. Then we done Doctor Who stuff in 2019. Then 2020, I think we just all had a mental breakdown.
Yeah, it didn't compute
and then
properly.
We were like, we should probably like have a structure. So it's like a different film each year. So we'll do it like that. Because then we'll never run out of Christmas films. Because there are millions of... oh, wait.
Exactly, millions. Why I haven't connected with the genre, because I feel like there's only a handful and then you get the rinse and repeats. That's the only thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you've got a lot of the same, like...
very
streaming servicey shit, but like for me, the reason we chose this one is because I feel like we should do a thing like so you'd pick next year's one. This was very much if it was someone who picked it, I would have picked this.
I'm gonna say on the air now, only because of your mum put it on by chance Monday when we were all snowed in at time of recording. She put on It's a Wonderful Life. I mean, I walked in on her and I was kind of like, "I'll watch that," but I had to get back to work.
That's my favourite Christmas film of all time.
And I know you said that previously, so I feel like that should be next year's.
That can make me.
Give it a couple years, then we'll talk about Violent Night.
I think it's on 4K now. Because
I think it has been for ages.
Because when it came on Blu-ray, they did a colorized version.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. That was all right, but it's like
it's not the same.
It's weird.
It's not as it was intended. So
because the way of black and white makes it, the dark and gloomy atmosphere of when he's like, I fucking wish I'd never been alive, Mary. James Stewart. Just James Stewart. But no, we're talking about the Santa Claus. The first one specifically, and we kind of did it because also the series is out.
Disney Plus.
At the time of recording, it concluded today with episode 6.
Yeah.
Short season.
Is it limited so it doesn't definitely set up? This is definitely it. Okay.
There are some callbacks. There are some references. There is
some returning cast members, which I'm surprised to see back in it as well.
Yeah, there is a Santa version of the Spider-Verse.
My god!
You see the Yuleverse. You find so basically.
Oh wow, Santaverse.
The basic premise of the Santa Clauses is that Scott feels like he's coming to the end of being Santa, like wants to retire, have a normal life for his kids in the normal world. And then realises that getting that isn't necessarily as all it's cracked up to be, kind of, wacky adventure. So he's got to choose his, successor as Santa. The successor's clause, because he's had the Santa clause of him becoming Santa, the Mrs. clause, the escape clause.
Yeah, which at the time I haven't rewatched in years. So don't remember that one.
Yeah,
as such.
But we'll probably mention for you, like you can definitely mention 2 because you said you've rewatched that last night.
That's like more fresh than the first, arguably. But yeah,
we'll probably mention the series as a whole, like kind of thing. But obviously that will be a thing. It will be a subject later on.
Oh, absolutely,
down the line.
Yeah,
but it's one of my favourite Christmas franchises because it's at the end of the day it became a trilogy that no one ever asked for or needed.
Oh, no.
When you think of the gaps in the sequels, you got 94, 2002,
8 years,
2007.
Yeah. Still 5 years, yeah.
That's madness. Or 2000 or 2006. It's
one of those
6
two.
or 7.
It's a 50-50 chance, heads or tails.
But yeah, and
then even 2022 for this series.
2022, so that's
14
years.
No, 16. Yeah, 2020, 14 to 16. Yeah,
Jesus,
16, nearly 17 years because we're literally right at the verge of 2022. So
I remember when this getting announced, I was really
Crazy.
excited because we were talking about it on here, and then we had the look like. I think it was like
I don't remember it getting announced.
Early on in the year, it was like it was like halfway to Christmas or some shit, and then they posted like the actual
in
look.
summer.
But 20
hours.
My New Year's resolution is to sort out everything and have a actual setup. Where I don't keep questioning everything that I see. Yes. So the Santa Claus is a movie, a Walt Disney Pictures
Walt
jaunt.
Disney Pictures, yeah.
I'll
say not
I think
Fox.
it's distributed by Buena Vista, isn't it? It's like
I believe.
it's proper old school because it was at the time where like the early DVDs / the VHSs.
I remember that
It was
DVD
like,
poster everywhere. That
Here
was
we
everywhere.
go. Ah, and like you remember like there's bits in the film that I specifically remember from the home media trailers like that. I'm in big trouble. Mm-hmm. Or when like the
I was
space
I
falling
was
down.
I was surprised how much of it
Yeah.
did come back to me, but it has
Yeah.
generally been like a lifetime since I've seen it.
Yeah. This is kind of like my Toy Story. This is like I grew up with this one, so I have more of an affinity to it. It's not my all-time favorite, but it's got a special place for me just because I've watched it so many times. It stars Tim Allen and
Buzz Lightyear in
yeah.
the live action, in the
Buzz
flesh.
Lightyear. He would have recorded his lines for Buzz because then Toy Story came out the year after, and back then it took fucking
yeah.
ages to make.
Yeah,
So I'm assuming-
yeah.
Yeah. Tim Allen probably at peak. Like when you look at like Tim
Because
Allen,
he was Home and Improvement, then he was
It was,
the
it was,
TV
it was Home
man.
Improvements.
Yeah.
Like he's done that again since and resurrected. And like two of his TV characters have met each other or whatever.
Really?
Some shit.
Alan Verse.
If you like, ignore all the drugs trading he did like in the 80s or whatever it was, because damn Santa, that's a lot of snow. Like it's kind of a genius thing because it feels very much like a Tim Allen vehicle. Like
Definitely Tim
you
Allen.
kind of can't imagine anyone else
doing
doing
that.
because it's the
that
classic
character.
thing of
Yeah.
like divorced dad, quite absent in his son's life, businessman, like career focused, becomes Santa Claus, and that
Out of
like
nowhere.
through everything blah 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 character journey makes him a better,
better
father
person.
and connected to his family. Like
Quite in the literal sense.
who plays
Who plays the son?
who plays the wife?
In what you say in the original, it was
the
Wendy Crewson.
Wendy Crewson, because she's in the 3 films, doesn't get a shout out in the series.
She doesn't get a shout. Well, she's not
No.
even in it.
No,
Okay,
that
interesting.
scene, that clip that you saw with Charlie, that was it.
Wow.
Like, I don't feel like that's a
Wow.
spoiler because that's
Oh,
quite
no,
that's
no.
like episode 1 or 2.
Okay.
I was like, oh
yeah.
damn, they're dropping this, but then there's cameos and stuff that happen later on that you're kind of like, oh, that's
Oh,
quite
that's
cool.
nice. Yeah.
CGI's a bit ropey as fuck, but
I mean, his eyebrows.
it's also left in a place where I would not be surprised if we got a couple more
Another
seasons of.
Oh,
yeah.
fair enough.
But I presume that. What's his ex-wife's name?
Or in the
In the film.
Laura
Laura
Miller.
because her husband Neil,
Neil,
played by Judge Reinhold.
Yeah, Reinhold. Yeah.
He's not going to be featured at all because obviously I think he's still in prison. I think that might be why they've kind of gone like, let's not address Laura and Neil because you
Yeah. Need to.
kind of can't. Is it in personal life or you have
Yeah.
you have a good old look-see.
He was arrested back in 2016 for disorderly conduct after objecting to a pat-down from security shortly after he was released from the hospital. He spent 10 hours in jail. This is back in 2016, but he's announced to be coming back in a new Beverly Hills Cop movie.
I thought he was in
randomly.
prison for something much worse than that.
Maybe thinking of someone else? I mean,
I don't know. Google Judge Reinhold and then
prison.
yeah, See what you
Naughty
can-
crimes.
naughty list.
Santa's naughty list.
I think on the face of it, this is and a lot of people would see it as a classic sort of, it's a classic old Christmas movie. With like the entrappings of that, and very 90s,
Very.
but works on a level like I think for us more than it would have a generation above kind of thing, because you would kind of thought like, oh fuck, like this is same old shit that you're kind of used to kind of thing, because you had a lot of these kind of movies like in like the late 70s 80s
to
even in the
90s.
90s early 2000s, like there's
Rinse
always
and
these
repeat.
kind of movies,
Yeah.
and I think the reason it stands out is because it's one of the very few that got sequels. It elaborated on lore a bit more in those and kind of had a world
At least in the
aspect
pub,
to it.
at least in my eyes, because before this film I wasn't aware that Mrs. Claus was a thing. I just always imagined it was Santa and the reindeer, but then
No,
there was
there's
like,
always-
Mrs. Claus.
There's always been a Mrs. Claus.
Well,
Yeah.
well,
Like it's and I think that's an aspect of the series that she really fingers to. Like it's always, her trying to discover like is she the first, like all these kind of things. It's really good, but I think it will work well with children because it's it portrays Santa in a way that you know, you see the North Pole, you see the elves, you see the reindeer.
Like an adventure movie.
You get sort of you kind of get like the mechanics of how those things work, like the system, like getting back to that, of which is obviously elaborated on in further films, but like the system of like like leaving the pole, like returning the presents, how like you know the reindeers getting fed in their accommodation and stuff like that, the presents getting made, the fact that the bag, you know, is basically
Truly
an
infinite.
interdimensional TARDIS kind of thing.
Anything you can think of.
And it also answers like the question of like that a lot of kids had, which was like, how does Santa deliver to people without a chimney? Like one forms around him essentially.
Yeah.
And
he is the human chimney.
I am the chimney. But,
and he's friends with the Molinator.
The Molinator. And Father Time is played by his boss from the first film.
Wait, is he?
Yeah.
Wait, in the series?
No, in the second and third film, Father Time he's dead now, but like he is
right. What? Tim Allen's dead?
No, like in Tim Allen's, you know, the Tim Allen scene when he's fat and eating like the corporate lunch.
The corporate lunch, yeah.
His boss in that
scene
is the same guy that plays Father
Time.
In
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Googly.
I didn't even know. Again, this is like the first time I've seen it in years, so I wouldn't even suspect, but okay. Oh, yeah, well, there you go, yeah.
Yes.
Peter Boyle.
Peter Boyle, yeah, who passed away early
2000s? I wanted to say recently, but no, not recently.
It's not recently. I remember it because it was on Everybody Loves Raymond. So, and that show kind of like was near the end by the time he passed anyway, and that was a big
2006.
2006. So yeah, so that means Santa Claus 3 must have been
posthumous release. Yeah. Oh no, it doesn't necessarily say it is. It's 2006 Santa Claus 3, but it doesn't say it's posthumous.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. When did he die in 2006?
It said I think December the 12th. Bloody hell.
So yeah, maybe it had already come out then.
Well, he obviously recorded, I imagine, like mid 2005.
Yeah, it would have been.
2005-ish.
But we are talking about the 1994 Spectacular, for a film that's predominantly got kids in the cast. I think because they're very well cast.
Yeah, very well cast.
I think Eric Lloyd is great as Charlie, his
Charlie.
son. It's a role that I think he only ever really plays at his best in the first one.
Yeah, I didn't know how I felt about him in the second one.
I think the second one he is tolerable because he's still basically a kid.
Yeah,
but
he is at that point on the front,
early teen kind of thing, and he's obviously having his own problems and that. But like, it's it's a whole different it's drama.
It's an element of life.
It's the natural thing of
of course,
your child actor is growing up. That's how you still, because he was the hook for everyone in the first one.
Yeah.
But and then they introduce other characters to then be that hook, like younger characters like Lucy, like then you've got his kids in it, in like the newest iteration. But they are older than. I think they're probably like in between Charlie's. The age Charlie is in 2 and 3. I feel like they're kind of like they sit kind of like there, because obviously the oldest you see born at the end of Santa Claus 3 anyway.
Oh, okay, so, fair enough.
That's but I it's hard to sort of go into like the plot of it because specifics. It's not plot heavy. It's essentially
it's a Tim Allen highlight reel.
Charlie's got to spend the we'll get into some of your favourite quotes soon. Basically, Charlie has to spend the Christmas with his father because his parents are divorced. It starts out as a standard, boring, very relatable if you're part of a family of divorced, separated parents, because some of that stuff can hit pretty hard even now in the early 20s.
Early 20s.
But
2020s and early 20s, yeah.
Exactly. It's and then in the middle of the night they hear the noise on the roof. They see Santa. He falls, seems to disappear.
Oh yeah,
and
he sinks into the snow.
More clarity on that in the series. That whole thing gets addressed. and the whole origins of Santa in the Yuleverse.
In the Yuleverse,
as Scott calls it.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Puts on the coat because one of the cards say like, if anything happened to me, put on my coat, the reindeer will know what to do, and basically that happens. And then after that, he's basically agreed to be Santa.
He's agreed to the clause.
Yes. Yeah. You've got and the card that I like comes back in the second one, and then I think you see it briefly in the third one. But they have a similar card, but it's not the exact same card in the show, and it's a bit
okay.
Because I'm
attention to detail.
Because I'm assuming by it's been like nearly 15 years since they've done it, so it's
Props.
Like some of the same sets on the outside. It looks very similar. Whoever's done it, but there's obviously a lot less of it. And the budget for it is not there as much because it's like...
How does the interior look to the North Pole? Like, does it look very similar, or does it just look like, a show budget as opposed to like...
The office essentially looks very similar to number 3.
Right.
And there's bits and pieces that are like different, but like it's close enough. Because obviously the stuff doesn't stay the same between some... Like exactly the same between some films. It's just obviously with the budget... and it being so long, by the time you get back to it, it's like a lot of these people have never.
No one's going to remember it.
Like you don't have all the plans saved from like
previous,
the North Pole layout. But and so then you take it back to the pole. He's told by the head elf Bernard that he's got 9 months to get your affairs in order, and then like you'll have to come back prepared for your first proper Christmas as Santa, and
you've agreed to it.
Yeah,
you're now
I'll send the list to your house. What list? Oh. He's making a list, checking it, and then all the elves sing. It's like, why can't you? I can't deliver toys. I'm just an elf. That whole thing of the number one, because Bernard is the number one elf, like the head elf.
David, played by David Krumholtz.
Yes, and he is basically the closest thing to an adult elf. Like it's an excuse to have someone who's older play an elf.
He's like a 900-year-old elf, but he looks 12.
And he is the second in command essentially for and it is for the first 2 films, isn't present in the third because I think it was a scheduling conflict,
right,
which means that Curtis
from the second one steps up.
Are
they both in the series? They're both not.
One of them is.
I think I've read it's Krumholtz. Bernard's back.
Krumholtz was confirmed to return.
Right, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough.
But it's the dynamics kind of, because they're very like, he's very not anti-Christmas, but he's very like, he's just like, this isn't real, like, seeing, like, just because I see something doesn't mean I believe
in it.
And the whole like through line of the film is, seeing isn't believing is seeing.
Yeah.
Like, just because you don't see something doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's the inner child of Charlie that, brings out the inner child of Scott. And as much as he tries to fight it, and he's loved the attention and the new love that he's getting from Charlie by being Santa.
Yeah.
Whether he believes that it actually happened or not, like, because he thinks it was all a dream, Charlie can remember it vividly and swears by it. But by the time we get to the concrete resolution of that, you've got then a bit of a mini heist thing when you've got Charlie goes back to the pole with him, and it's the whole like repairing, like the montage, the flame-throwing stuff. The transformation stuff in this one is very 90s, but it works.
Yeah.
I think the hair pieces and prosthetics are at their best in the films, obviously, because there is more budget for it. Like, I think there's just one thing in the show where it's just like he's got a prosthetic nose on. And it's just so obvious, whereas like in the other stuff it's like it's him, but it's kind of like enhanced to make him look fuller and rosier like Santa, and then he's got like the weight suit on and essentially looks the same. At full Santa-ness, he looks the same in every
iteration.
Film.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough.
But and there's always the excuse in all films and the show for it to be like, this is him as just Tim Allen, and this is Tim Allen under all the heavy makeup and prosthetic stuff that he's got to do. But I like that stuff, like the gradual, like how gradual the weight gain is, and the
hair growth. Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about the fact that his fucking heartbeat is Jingle Bells, and he would be dead.
Yeah.
Do you want to run us through some of your favourite Tim Allen quotes in this? Because there are a lot of more adult jokes in this as well.
I didn't really realise. That's the thing. God knows what I thought of Tim Allen before watching it this time around. But my God, Tim Allen, Buzz Lightyear in the flesh is a highlight reel. He just comes out with some great shit. I'm just trying to find a good list because, again, the second one's more on my mind, especially Evil Toy Santa. I think he was amazing. He ate that up.
He gets the chance to play evil as well. But for this one, there's some great stuff that he says. Have you got some of your favourite ones there?
25 best quotes from the Santa Claus.
There we go. This is from what page is this
1994.
From? Screen Rant. Oh, this is definitely 100% accurate.
Updated December 13th, 2022.
Oh, man.
I mean, it's got to be. I'm in big trouble, as we've said previously.
That transformation scene, like where he goes from like he's still shaving like every day. I shave in the morning, in the afternoon. I look like this, dyeing his hair, and he looks a bit like a fucking out of shape melted John Barrowman, and then transforms into like
randomly facially John Travolta.
Yeah,
me.
Because he's still got the prosthetics on, but without the hair pieces.
Without the hair.
Then like the transition back into all that is just like you can't stop this magic.
Do you want this doll or not? Go back to sleep.
Yeah. Supposed to drink that milk.
Ho ho ho. Ho ho ho. Ho ho ho. Ho ho ho.
Ho ho ho. Not bad. Never had yourself.
When I wake up, I'm getting a CAT scan.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night. When I wake up, I'm getting a CAT scan.
What are you talking about? Everybody likes Denny's. It's an American institution.
That's that's brilliant. When like he burns the Christmas dinner 4 hours and he's cooking it at like 8 o'clock at night. It's like, do you like Osobuco, Charlie? They're closed, and it's like they end up at Denny's. Like Denny's is great. Like I haven't been Denny's in like 20 years, but like when I went out to America, like it's some good. It is an American institution. Grilled cheese and some hot milk.
Honey, I won't be home. That's not very ladylike.
Oh, when he's doing like the roads are like chocker and he's like saying he's in traffic.
Yeah, like, that's not very ladylike.
Oh, 4-car pile up. I'm really.
Okay. Can we take a direct flight back to reality, or do we have to change planes in Denver?
What bit wins?
That's when he's walking with Bernard and he's like, I ain't Santa. Santa ain't real. Can we take a direct flight?
Try to understand this. Ooh. Do you like if you were a kid, like you watched this as a kid, right?
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's been. I can't tell you the last time I watched it. I can't tell you.
Have you felt a different appreciation for it watching it now?
No, like 1,000,000%. I mean, he's still borderline a Christmas film. Yeah, but I mean, he's just this time around. I just appreciate Tim Allen just coming up with those stuff.
Tim Allenisms.
Just him being him. I mean, this year I've sort of early I watched Galaxy Quest like. Some point this year, or last year by the time you're listening to this. Obviously the Toy Stories in preparation for Lightyear, so this year's kind of been a weird resurgence for me in the Allenverse. God forbid if he was ever to do something in the MCU or DC properties. Like, who would you cast? Slight tangent, but who would you cast Tim Allen if he was to do a voice to somebody or something? Yeah,
a voice
of a Marvel character we may or may not have had. I don't know.
I think it would have been a good Cosmo the Space Dog.
Yeah.
Because then that's a very Buzz Lightyear parody. Like a dog that believes that they're fucking really good at all this shit in space. I'll have a think. You go through some more quotes. I'll think of a...
That is exactly why you want a high quality fire extinguisher right in the kitchen.
Those flames are really big, Dad.
We shared a bowl of sugar.
Oh yeah,
did some shots of brown liquor.
What did you do last night?
Played with my shotguns, Phil dressed a cat, looked for women. I read him a book.
I read a book. What was it? Hollywood Wives. Night before Christmas, folks. Come on. But that deadbeat dadisms in it are so...
Where are you going to get more sweaters after Circus falls out of town?
He says that's in it. Neil's sweaters are always a fucking running joke.
Topio Gigio.
Yeah. Paris Nicole. Nick. Santa Claus.
It's okay, I'm used to it. I lived through the 60s.
Yeah. Dad, you're flying. Brief reference to drugs.
So if we go straight on this world, do we hit I-94?
And
he just flies off.
Asking the truck driver for the fucking direction.
He just flies off.
The way the reindeer fly in it as well is like... Because they're mostly practical props. Obviously not in the like wide shots, but like close up. Like
Cosmo.
You've got practical like fucking Comet and... You've got all...
Comet, that's not Cosmo.
You've got the 8 reindeer apart from... There is no Rudolph.
There's no red nose.
On the VHS copy of Santa Claus 2, one of the reindeer on the cover
Had a red
nose. Obviously, the only other reindeer in that is Chet.
Chet.
Yeah.
Who's a character in himself.
Yeah, cut the chit-chat, Chet.
Don't
Cut the
forget.
chit-chat, Chet. Nothing wrong with a straight line, Chet. Chet.
Well, Neil's head comes to a point.
Neil's really smart. Well, Neil's head comes to a point. Classic, like, fucking irking on your divorced wife's new fella.
You want me to take the toys down a chimney into a strange house in my underwear?
Not only I sleep naked, but
Yeah, naked.
ha.
Oh, sorry, like, whoever the neighbour was walking past. Buck naked.
But, boxer shorts.
Thanks, but I'm seeing someone in... I mean, that's not Tim Allen.
That is honestly
well,
so
you're
good.
looking good for your age.
Yeah. Like, she says how old she is. Like, you're looking good for your age. Thanks, but I'm seeing someone in rapping. Fucking makes me die.
We're getting the Disney Channel now. Merry Christmas.
Oh, that's when he's first, like, when they first get on the roof, and then he's like, I'm not kidding, Charlie. Let's go, and then the reindeer take off, and you get the classic Tim Allen.
The Rose Shoe-Chack Ladder Company.
A rose, such a clatter company, just like the poem.
Oh, yeah.
A rose means there came, and then clatter means like a big noise.
Dad, I heard a big clatter on the roof. We've got to go and check. Oh, if you want to, Charlie. I believe in Santa Claus. I'm not a baby.
Mm.
Dad, when everyone's you're Santa. When you're Santa. Oh, you got it wrong. When you thought I was Santa.
I'm not Santa. You just this is literally just a thing if we're just reading off some fucking Tim Allen.
Just a highlight reel. I think if we're going to destroy our son's illusions, I should be a part of it.
That's when they're saying about telling him that Santa's not real. There is some really great, because a lot of this, some of it does seem improv.
Yeah, you said you're lactose intolerant.
Oh yeah,
You're supposed to drink the milk.
Yeah, like when he first like when he's full on Tim Allen Santa Claus, and then tells her that that he's lactose intolerant, and then the next year when he's full on Santa, she's got him lactose free milk, and then obviously because now he's got this fucking heightened sugar and dairy addiction because of his diet as Santa, then he it's like, oh, I think that milk's still so. You said you're lactose intolerant, and he's like, oh, you remember, like, that's so sweet. Go back to sleep, and then but she's a part of the series. Not the same actress, but she's been recast. But you get a replay.
And I assume older as well.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's like even you don't remember me. Like, what's going on? It's like I'm sleeping on my parents' couch in my 20s. It's like that's.
I'm sleeping on my parents' couch in the 20s.
What are your favourite aspects of this film?
Aside from Tim Allen, no, Charlie. Charlie is the sort of heart and soul, and the reason why, again, our protagonist goes through the journey that he does of not just trying to get Christmas saved for his son, but to also really invest himself, but his boy also in the literal world.
Boy, I need a nail.
The literal world of the North Pole, as we see in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of holds our hand. It introduces younger audiences and older non-Christmas believers. No, I'm not a non-Christmas believer. I don't care. I'm more cynical. I'm more cynical.
But we're slowly reeling him in, folks. With each Christmas film, part of Connor grows into a Christmas.
I will become Santa one day.
Oh ho ho!
Ho ho ho!
How?
Everyone deserves a bag of coal. I've reread the list twice. Naughty and nice.
I'm supposed to check the list. In fact, I'm supposed to check it twice. I think Charlie is the audience surrogate for the kids, and then you relate more to the adult aspect with Scott and everyone else as you get older.
I guess, because I am more closer to them than Charlie at this point. I'm closer to Tim Allen, which ain't a bad thing after watching this film.
No.
I just want to get Toy Santa quotes because I loved Santa Claus 1. I just loved Evil Santa's quotes as well. And I mean, I know his look was supposed to be fucking stupid, but the fucking hair, it's like blue. It's like silvery blue, white.
Proper, like, toyish. It's not, if you looked at it as a film, like, thematically, there is, like, many tropes.
That you will see in the genre. Yeah.
The plot's a bit thin. It's, it's not the best,
No.
But I think it's one of those films that if it hits you in the right holes,
In the right zone, in the right
yeah.
mood, yeah.
Like it can still like resonate with me a lot, and there is a lot of goodwill from me seeing this as a child.
Oh yeah.
But it's one of the many reasons that I love Christmas. Like I'm one of those people that like it's my favorite holiday. Like I love the giving, the receiving, and then after the sex, I love the presents. That's a joke, kids. I might have to cut that one out. That was a bit graphic. But no, I love like spending time with my family, like the food,
Oh yeah, of course.
like everything.
The food.
It's that whole thing.
Yeah.
Like a lot of aspects. Like Christmas has always been made like a big thing by my parents.
Right.
Like the whole Santa thing.
Yeah.
We're not going to say the words in case there are any kids that are listening to this, but the whole truth behind that. Like, there is that, but it's films like this that make you think, oh no, like because it even like makes you question that, like especially as a kid, like well they say that my parents say they'd buy me my presents, but like it could just be all a ruse, and like the big guy's actually taking care of it and they just don't remember him, kind of thing. Like it lays more groundwork for like this is very much a film speaking to
There's
the
like
kids.
a weird mythological aspect, like even when he accepts the role and he sort of acts like, oh yeah, I've always been Santa Claus. He sort of he does get into the character, and he literally says like, oh, I've always sort of been with you, like.
Yeah.
In the second one, when he's talking to the principal, like played by Elizabeth Mitchell, he's always like, "Oh, I've always been your Santa Claus." It's like,
because obviously it's like an omnipotent kind of godly presence,
supernatural
and
presence.
It builds on a lot of things that people know, but also like it has wiggle room to sort of be.
It definitely its own thing.
It's its own thing, but also like it speaks to generations. Like you can have kids that watch it like years down the line and really sort of gel with it and love it. Like it's up there for me because it means so much to me. Like I would rank it above like the others. Like when you look at it as their own films, but as a whole collective thing, it's just such a good time, and I really.
It'll definitely be one I'll think to rewatch. It's definitely going to stay with me now. This one. I mean, not it didn't previously. It's been too long since I've watched it previously. It's too long.
Are you at a point where you're going to go home and rewatch the third one?
I mean, maybe tonight. Maybe tonight. No, I mean
through the series.
Yeah.
It's
maybe
also,
like next week.
I think it also says a lot for the fact that it's got its own. Sounds like someone's kidding on the ice.
Yeah, brilliant.
So stay safe in the snow, everyone. Hopefully it's not snowed again since we record this.
Oh yeah.
On, year of our Lord, 14th of December. Fucking hell! It's only 11 days till Christmas.
Mad.
That is mad. I've not finished my shopping yet. I've done a lot of it, but
I've done like 80% of it.
I'd like run out of money and I get paid Friday, so it's like I'm ordering the last bits because I've got a couple of bits there I'd like to do, and majority of it's done. But besides the point, the fact that legacy sequels have become a bit of a mainstay, especially in the last couple of years or so. Like we're getting a lot of wrap-ups to. I wouldn't say like, but it feels specifically like our generation of viewership has got a lot of sort of payoff for things that never got finished and things that may still get finished because there's room for stuff to,
come
expand
out
and grow. Like you've got case in point would be last December we got Spider-Man No Way Home. We got some retribution for both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield because we never got their promised next movie.
Yeah, next instalments. Yeah, exactly.
You're getting that at some point if it doesn't get cancelled in the fucking Flash. Just don't hold out hope for Aquaman. He's Lobo now.
He is Lobo. Lobo Man.
You've got what else? You've had Matrix Resurrections.
Not one of the better ones in my opinion, but
no,
I mean,
but like in terms of like a sequel, like years, like you've got Bill and Ted Face the Music.
That was a good one. That was a cool one.
Jay and Silent Bob reboot. If you're going more of the niche stuff,
yeah.
What else? We've had loads. Like when you think
random stuff.
Top Gun Maverick, obviously.
Yeah, that goes back past our generation, but yeah, definitely.
Like you're getting sequels to other things when you look at like the MCU crossing over and sort of finalising some of those other things.
Older plot lines and crossovers.
Like, we had Patrick Stewart back in Doctor Strange. We're getting Hugh Jackman back as Wolverine. There's a lot of things, like a lot of payoff for those like we've got in terms of actual more recently, and actually on Disney Plus you've got the Willow continuation series.
Bloody Willow.
We've had the 2-part premiere to that, and then we're on like this being out weekly.
Yeah,
I think that's 6 episodes, and then the same with National Treasure. That's a big one for me.
That's
as a young teen like young
That'll be
adult.
like the next nostalgic franchise I'll watch.
Like I love those. Like you're getting a lot of these payoffs to like what happened next, and for like this could have been left alone easily.
Yeah, I was surprised that. Yeah,
like you've had Star Wars sequels, and they make sense. You've had the spin-off, like you've had Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian and all those things, because there is scope for that in that universe. But when you look upon something like this, which at the face of it is essentially
open-ended,
like a
bookend,
a B-list movie, that probably didn't make much money. It's in the original theatrical run, did well enough for Disney to go, well,
we can revive
the
this.
home media sales kind of did well, so we're gonna make another one, which was essentially, I think it was in cinemas, but it was essentially more of a straight DVD film than any of them. Because the third one was when they kind of went, oh, we made a lot of money, like, let's put this behind it, and it had a decent theatrical run for the third one. And you can see that, like, on the screen, that there is more money on this in terms of the set. Like, they've kept all the sets and just, like, improved them, made them bigger. Like, you've got new spaces around that. Like, this wasn't crying out for, we need a continuation. I think there was always... With these,
a fan base.
There's franchises, that like
there's always a demand.
There's always an element for. There's a demand for something else. There's a demand for more of it. There's a demand for closure. With lots of things, with media in general, you're always going to have that. But I didn't ever expect anything to come. I kind of always it would have been nice if we'd got a fourth one, or it would have been nice if they kind of wrapped it up. Well, they did something now, and because of everyone, like, we're coming back for this, and we're doing this, and it's kind of led Disney to go.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have to throw a lot of money at it, so we could just make a Disney Plus series, and people would sign up for that. The fans like us that connected with the film originally,
lived through it,
and obviously kids now at Christmas, like it's a bit like that. Like it's relatable for those generations, and it didn't need to be done, and probably didn't. If I'd have just watched this film and there had been no more of it, I would have been like, that's fair enough,
fine by me.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
But we've had a whole world come out of this, and I think that you don't get many Christmas films, especially come with that and work well, because the only other one that really has a significant franchise and world to it is the Home Alone stuff, and they aren't great, because the second one's essentially the first one again, but some people argue better, and then you get to the point of it's a different kid in the third one, and then it's the fourth one, it's the same kid but it's recast because it's can't do Macaulay Culkin because it's the early 2000s now, and he's a lot older, and then you had the Home Sweet Home Alone that we talked about, because we talked about that last year, because Home Sweet Home Alone was out like last Christmas, so we literally sort of talked about that in terms of a perspective on it. It's like, that's weird,
crazy how it's all turned out.
I think my love for this is also because of what follows it. I know that this isn't it. Like, if you want more of it, there is more of it.
There's plenty enough for you, yeah.
And I hope that more generations find this film and take it into their hearts.
This is going to be one I'd recommend. Yeah, absolutely. This is one I would recommend. Go and give it a whirl.
What would you say, like, it is, like, I think that if I'm going to say out of 10, realistically, it's probably like a 7.
I was going to say 7.5.
But for, like, the enjoyment factor, it's, like, in the 8s. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
that's what 7.5 is my instinct.
Yeah, sometimes, like, your rose-tinted glasses can make you sort of be like, oh, like, it's not great, but you can have fun with it.
Oh, definitely. Definitely consumable, palatable. Tim Allen only enhances it to me, and I never would have clocked onto him as a kid.
Yeah,
I only know him as Buzz Lightyear, and then hearing him and seeing him in this, it was like, bloody hell! Like, I'm glad I've watched this now.
Because you're not a big Disney guy in general.
No, but that's just because I haven't got like siblings and like
and
offspring going. Oh,
sibling and offspring.
Siblings and offsprings. Yeah, that's a Disney Plus series coming out in the future.
Well, obviously, like There's not a lot of kids in your family, if any, is there? Like,
no, I am the only child.
Like extended family, like cousins and that.
Oh yeah, but that's all on like my dad's side of the family. Which there may be I don't know. There might be a light at the end of the tunnel there, but that's the whole other thing. That's into New Year. That's
okay. I feel like we just opened up the Jeremy Kyle show.
No, there's light at the end of the tunnel.
But because it was same for me. Because like before, like being in this relationship, have like my niece is now a big part of my life, and like you see a lot more kid stuff naturally. The more kids you are around,
yeah,
or that are in your family, or like that you like, are related to.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, absolutely.
And then obviously having one now, like
Obviously, it changes your whole worldview.
it changes your whole
changes
perspective because then
everything.
you're kind of like you'll then rewatch stuff to show. You're kind of then they're sort of like in a weird way you're the custodian of your own kind of media history. You're kind of like, and this is what I watched, kind of thing. Because we
you're
had
passing
that,
it
like
on.
from our parents. Like our parents would have showed us stuff, or we would have watched stuff that they watched, and naturally we would have sort of found
Picked
our
it
way
up. Yeah.
and picked things that were similar or close to that, or same people or whatever, and then branched and we had our own opinions. And to be able to do that to a small child
Oh no,
that
it's
has
obviously
no
powerful.
information.
No, and it isn't retaining at so early of an age.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not of a thing of like you will watch this and you will like it. It's just a thing of like
Obey.
you have to at least
Yeah, experience it
there is at least some films that you will have to watch
as a requirement.
and enjoy. Like this,
Legal contracts.
like
Yeah.
before, like some things you have to see.
No, of
Like,
course.
like
It's those lists of like 101 things you must see before you like pass away or whatever. It's lists like
Jesus Christ.
absolutely films you need to see because of X, Y, Z reason. It is, yeah, absolutely. I'd put in terms of Christmas. Yeah, this would be heck number one for me. Number one at the minute because this is like the only one I've really
Really?
watched in such a long time. I thought it was all great.
Oh.
I had a really whirlwind of a time with it.
That's cool. Man.
I felt like a kid watching it.
Because I knew you enjoyed it because you put it up on your story.
And that's enough.
And I know
that's
we've
enough.
we've not posted a lot this year anyway.
No,
Just in
I mean-
terms of like we haven't really had the time.
no.
But
between both
when
of us,
you
yeah.
even when you I know like sometimes like you'll post ones that you ain't as happy with, but generally you'll have strong opinions about a film when you do that kind of stuff. And I was kind of like, oh, he's really actually
He's liked this.
he's enjoyed Christmas.
Yeah. Santa, ho ho ho.
Ho ho ho! But very sort of fucking
Ho,
New
ho,
York
ho,
Santa.
ho.
Ho ho ho! I'm
ho,
Santa
ho.
Claus. I'm walking here.
Yeah.
I'm walking here.
And
But,
what here?
Magical, but
Yeah, it felt magical enough, and considering I was proper like, I wasn't just watching it because I knew we were talking about it. It was kind of like I've got like work had been on about it. I've heard Christmas songs all day, and I thought I escaped retail, and I thought the Christmas songs were going to stop. But I've had radios on all day, like last week at work, and I'm like, oh, I guess by choice, by legal requirement, I'm going to have to watch something Christmassy. And by chance, it was this, and it was one that I was like, yes, I actually liked that.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a good one.
You don't, yeah, like because obviously, like you said before, it's a holiday that for you.
It
Like, you
literally is as I've gotten older. It's literally because of retail, really. That it's just done my nutting.
Yeah, and the fact that there's not a lot of like. You
I
say,
don't know-
like,
I don't know, I'm
kids
not
your
alone
family,
in
so
that.
It's not like you are out
By
and out,
chance,
like, doing the whole Christmas.
I don't have
full-on
I don't
thing.
have a Charlie being like, oh, like Connor, or God forbid if I ever get called Dad, not by a stranger, I hope. Dad, look at this. I've only got adult influences and like similar age group
Yeah,
sort of people, but like to have like a
Your friend
youngling, a
circle, or, like,
Padawan, like
the adults in your life that you.
yeah, go. Oh, let's
do
go and watch a
necessary.
Christmas movie. I'll be like, oh, dude, like we're however old we are,
Dude, it's July.
Yeah, come
Calm
on, man.
down.
Come
But
on,
now
man.
you'll be like, gather round the fire, boy.
Yeah.
You boy.
You boy, come around the fireplace. Let's watch a cozy Christmas movie. Let's get our cocoa. Ho 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 ho. Yeah, I don't know. Give it a couple Christmases. I might turn into Santa. I don't know. I
I mean, that might be a promise. That's
yeah.
pretty cool. Yeah, I think it's genuinely just feel good. There's not really much because it's a
Else.
tight like hour 20.
Hour and a, I think hour and
Hour and a
a
half?
half.
Hour and a
Number
half.
1 and 2 are both hour and a half.
Flies by. I think
It
the
really
third
does.
one's a bit longer.
Hmm.
But no,
There's always one.
it's so good.
It's just
Like-
consumable.
If you want to turn your brain off, and well, not even turn your brain. If you want to just sit down, relax, and just focus on a film, like at this time
It's
of the year,
super rewatchable.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
it's so easy to watch. Like I
Mm.
know you've got like everyone will say
I'm even
your
thinking about
home-
watching
your
it again.
your Home Alones,
Yeah,
your Arthur Christmases, your Elves. Like a lot of that is there's a lot involved in it, and they are like the high quality ones. Like Elf is a really good film. On rewatch, obviously, because it's predominantly just jokes. It's a lot of you don't get anything new out of it. I argue like the core message is there, and like you can cry on that. The same with It's a Wonderful Life and Polar Express and things like that.
Yeah,
It's a sad metaphor like beneath it and whatever. And the whole thing about growing up is time is inevitable. We can't stop anything.
And
We are
enjoy it
whittling
while you
away
can.
until the grave. Essentially, every film is kind of like that. Enjoy Christmas, kids.
yeah.
Enjoy your life.
Go live it, and don't be on the naughty list.
But this is just
See?
What if your dad was Santa?
Yeah,
And like to many people, like
that's probably a
to many
question they've had
kids,
their
like,
whole life. Yeah,
their dads are their heroes, and like to have a person that you love and admire and respect that much be like one of the most important people in like the history of the holidays. Like that's, you know, it's a real mind boggler, and it does a lot for, you know, incorporating real life elements to that kind of thing. And I think it is improved upon by outcomes of latter episodes of the series, because obviously stuff like that's just ignored. But then like you get to the Santa before him, like why Scott was chosen, all those kind of things. There's a whole thing within that, and you learn more about that.
The mythology.
It's a whole. It feels like a complete journey.
Right. Oh, fair enough.
I don't think you can go wrong putting the Santa Claus on this Christmas. But
No.
no. We'll briefly touch on the sequels. I think number 2 is the best sequel.
Yeah, I mean, I can only comment, but yeah, I think number 2 is definitely close runner-up.
Like, I like them both. I think I like them both the same, but I like them in different ways.
Exactly. I think that's what I had.
Because I like
that's what I had.
The aspect of like he's already Santa. Like you get the thing.
Just get on with
like,
it a bit more.
Losing his magic.
Yeah.
And all that stuff.
Yeah, you kind of get the moving in reverse.
You don't ever really get to see Scott in his prime for a lot of the time. You can't, like, so it's towards the end of the first one, at the beginning of the first, and then the very end of at the beginning of the second and very end of the second, because obviously he's like losing his magic and such
falling around in the second one. Yeah. Regular Tim Allen.
Third one, like he's stressing about like, you know, pregnancy and
that's
the
right,
impending birth of his child, and the fact that Carol needs to actually have some family visit her that aren't short and things like that. And then obviously does the escape thing, blah blah blah. So that's beginning and end, and then arguably beginning and end of the series as well, because the whole thing starts, like the trajectory of the series is that he's losing his magic, or at least he feels like it is. A lot of it you learn in the end is the fact that, you know, the job's always hard. It's whether you choose to carry on doing it. Like you don't necessarily. It's like you feel you're done when you feel it in here.
In here, inside.
But no, like I think
so if you were to rank them, would you say Santa Claus 3 bottom, then the series, then 2, then 1, or is it 1 or 2?
I'd say that. I'd say that's probably fair at the moment. Like I don't think any of them. Like 3 is definitely the worst because it's the Spider-Man 3. It's, you know,
it's Santa Claus.
Yeah. You're looking for the Santa. I'm looking for the Santa. So what do you say, Easter Bunny? Interested?
You got some snow in your eye.
Throw some candy canes in your eye. I would say like it's by far and away the worst film. I would have to kind of maybe watch 1, 2, 3 and the series again as a whole, and kind of have
in a binge
at
sort
least
of
up
format.
to this point the complete story, because I would not, like I say, I would not be surprised if we got another season, and I'm not against it.
No, judging from what I heard, I don't hate that idea at all.
It could be one of those things that then just becomes like we just get
not quite a yearly, but like a semi-yearly sort of tradition every couple of years, like a, you know, and a few years. Oh, have another follow-on. Oh, you want a movie? Here's you want a Disney Plus special? Have that. I don't know.
Like it could kind of be like that, and I'm not against it in any capacity.
Not a yearly series, maybe have not like a yearly requirement, but
no, not at all. But
come back to every couple of years.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things that maybe we'll come back on to, and maybe we'll hate it. Maybe we'll go around in circles.
Oh my god, yeah.
I think it will just sort of live fondly. It'll get to a point where it's like, yeah, there's plot holes and whatever, but you know what? It's Christmas.
It's the Allen verse,
and isn't that the most magical time of all? Yeah. What would you say? Well, because you've only got 1 and 2 to go off of. But
at the minute,
what is your? Because what for you constitutes a good Christmas film? Because
oh god, okay.
Obviously you're more of a Halloween guy, so the horror stuff you naturally can just sort of pick things.
Like bounce off of
for Christmas. What can actually get?
I suppose
the aspects like of this that have actually got you in the mood, got you to actually.
I feel like a kid. I felt young watching it, which is very weird because I'm looking at it from a actor, oh my god, Tim Allen's amazing perspective, whereas I never would have had that as a kid because I was just watching a man saying things. I would have just gone like he's saying things, whereas I'm older enough I can process what he's saying. I can see the filmmakers doing said jokes here, said jokes there, and it's just a really tight, clever, well written script, but arguably relatable, not just from the family dynamic but just how he is the awkward single funny dad that he's trying to do the best thing for his kid, but obviously the other half of the family seeming to move on, and the kid's sort of being torn between his mum and his dad, and he's trying to be the best man, but he knows he's a bit of a goof.
Stuff, really,
But as an adult, and this is not someone that hasn't had kids, so I'm not nowhere near that situation, but like I can see it from all angles, and yet I can feel Charlie and his youthfulness and the inner kid in them wanting to be like, oh, Santa, North Pole, oh, like I get soaked up in it whilst being adult Tim Allen, seeing from his perspective, but also as close as I can from the mums and how everyone does butt heads, but then it all ultimately does come together to make, you know, the family warm Christmas movie. Whereas something like a horror film, they're normally quite gory and bloody and leave your stomach cold, like they're the opposite. Whereas this time of year, it is to get that warm, cozy feeling. That I will definitely need to sort of pop around different films and see how one captures it compares to other ones, but they all ultimately do come under the same thing, which is why I probably haven't in my adult mind appealed and gone, oh, let's watch a Christmas film, because I feel like once I've seen one, I feel like I've watched most of them.
The others, yeah. So here's the thing I'm going to say then.
Right, yes.
So we did that one. I'm just double checking. So we did
what we've done previously, Christmas
What
Rice.
we did in the shadows.
In the Christmas shadows, ho ho ho! Ah, it's naked.
Yeah, we did Home Alone 11 months ago.
Wow.
When was that?
January. It came out.
No,
in January.
24th of December.
Oh, okay.
Bloody hell! So we did that one. I'm just gonna check that we didn't do any other ones. I'm gonna cut out all this shit anyway.
In between, yeah.
This is COVID. Oh, I've just basically stumbled on stumbled on that Christmas. 30th of December. Goes to Christmas presents. Nothing really happened. It's just me and Matt in that one.
I think Santa feels a little buzz.
Whoa! Okay, so because our new tradition going forward is doing these, like doing a film a year, our overall Christmas leaderboard. So would you rank, at the moment we've only got one film on it, don't worry about it, where would you put The Santa Claus 1994
compared to, against
above Home Alone 1?
I think I will.
And that
at the minute, I
that
think
is
I'm going
a surprise.
to. Yeah, I'm surprised saying that. I think I will. I would rather watch Tim Allen than Macaulay Culkin. That's not a jab at
Then Maclunky Culkin.
McClunky.
The
greedy
Maclunky.
Culkin.
No, yeah.
I think I would.
Surprisingly, I think I agree with you. Have we... So, yeah, we're going to do every year that you're going to have a new
tally
film up on this board. What's
Fair
going to end up at the top? What's going to end up at the bottom?
What's going to get rearranged?
Taking us 5 years to find a format. Well, no, yeah, because we've only on the other Christmas one. So 2020 was... I don't know, it was some weird shit because it was just me and
we were just talking about
what's his name. Before that was the Doctor Who stuff.
Yeah.
And then before that it was our favourite Christmas films in general. So you've kind of got a clue as to like what we feel about Christmas films. It's just we've given us some longevity. So what do you think of The Santa Claus? Is it a film that you've really sort of warmed up to? Have you defrosted? Or has it always been in your heart because you are a 90s baby?
Or you're just a fan of hearing Buzz Lightyear?
Yeah, Buzz, Lightyear to the reindeer.
To the reindeer.
Let us know in the comments below what you think. Have you got a favourite one of these set of films? Like, have you enjoyed the series on Disney+? Do you agree that it should be above Home Alone 1?
Controversial.
And I'm sure a lot of people will say no. But the main thing is...
You're wrong. No.
Connor.
Me.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you too. Yes.
Merry Christmas to all. And to all, good night. Yeah. When I wake up, I'm getting a CAT scan. I want to thank...
Spoilers.
I want to thank you guys for sticking with us on some stuff that has been, it's been a topsy-turvy year. We're out of COVID for definite, sure, yeah. But,
I think.
The last couple of years especially have been hard, but we've both had major changes to our lives.
Both of our lives, yeah.
I think we've dealt with it well. I think we will continue to be better because we want to. Like 4 years in, I still enjoy doing this with you.
Yeah, no, likewise. I do. Yeah,
we still want to go further, and it's just a thing of like after we had a really enjoyable Doctor Who triple bill thing with the boys. That was a lot of fun, and doing these like pre-recorded ones, like you've heard us talk about Black Panther finally.
At last,
you're hearing us talk about this. You'll hear us finally talk about our best and worst favourite films of everything that happened this year, apart from Avatar.
That's literally like the only major release that I feel like, oh damn, we didn't.
Glass Onion's not in mine, and a couple of the early ones aren't, but that's fine because we've had a good year. We've seen a lot.
Yeah, I've seen enough.
I've seen a lot more than I thought I would, mainly because of streaming. And it's been, I want to thank you for doing it, another year of it, another 12 months of this shit.
Of this asylum,
we will be back. We've had a visit to the BFI, only one because the fucking season 2 one sold out. Hopefully do more of that because they had the premiere there for His Dark Materials season 3.
Did they?
It was at the IMAX one though, so it was the thing.
The next door one. Oh.
Yeah, but hopefully to do more of them, more vlogs. We're gonna end up playing fucking
games.
High on Life.
High on Life. Yes,
that game.
That's what we need.
Want a bit of that.
Bars.
Because at times it feels like the only thing we ever do is this podcast, but it's the only thing we ever do consistently. There is,
Yes, definitely. Consistently.
There is more. We will make more time for each other, not in a weird way, but more times to like do this. So when we reconvene in the new year, it will be a pleasure to have recharged and start again with you guys, and anything you guys are looking forward to in the years ahead. The years ahead, or the year ahead? The year ahead mainly, but like if you want
the years before Kang conquers it all.
Yes.
The years ahead.
Please do let us know, and we will try and get as much new stuff out next year as we can. But until then, we wish you all a very Merry
warm Christmas.
And a
Stay
happy
cozy
and healthy New Year. Peace out.
Peace out.
Love to everyone.
Enjoy your Christmas dinner.
We will see you